So let me start with this. Over in New Hampshire, in New England, there was an oxen competition. This was many years ago. And so all the farmers in the nearby community would bring their oxen around so that the oxen could perform in this race. It wasn't really a race. What they had to do, though, was two oxen would be yoked together. And they would need to pull a heavy weight a certain distance. And in each round, the weight would get heavier and heavier. One man went and he had a look at all the different various oxen before the competition began. And he noticed two oxen that were bigger, taller, and stronger than all the others. And he thought to himself, they're the clear winners. These ones are going to take the medal home for sure. There was also another pair of oxen that really caught his mind. One of them was big like these two, but the other one was much shorter and wider. And so he wondered, how could they possibly work together? Because when the yoke went across them, the yoke would actually go on an angle, one being taller, the other much shorter. And so he wondered, how could they possibly win? Anyway, the first round was completed, on to the second round. When the third round began, there's only two sets of oxen left. One was the two large big ones, the same size, and the other was this mismatched oxen. And he couldn't believe that they'd made it that far. Anyway, as that round completed, the winner was the mismatched oxen. And he wondered why. How could it be so? And he asked one of the umpires, one of the refs, he says, why? How can this be? Why is this that this oxen team was able to win? In fact, what helps an oxen team win such a competition? And the answer he gave was very interesting. He said this. He said, when they move, they need to move together at the exact same moment. He said, at the exact same moment. He said, that's where the power comes from. You see, if there's a slight delay of one or the other oxen, he said it doesn't move. But when they move together, then they can accomplish almost any weight. So I thought about that carefully. And I've thought about that since. And I wonder if we could consider that bigger oxen is your unconscious mind. And that smaller oxen is your conscious mind. And the reason we have so much problem, so much challenge in life, is because we try and get things done consciously without the support of our unconscious mind. You see, what if there was a way? What if there was a way where we could get both our conscious mind and our unconscious mind working simultaneously together? What if that was possible? Because if that was possible, couldn't we accomplish almost anything we want in life? Couldn't we be almost anybody we wanted to be? Couldn't we accomplish or achieve almost anything? Could we overcome any challenge? The answer, I think, is yes. Because the unconscious mind is far more powerful. You see, your unconscious mind can do many things. It beats your heart more than 100,000 times a day. We know that. There are somewhere between 70 and 100 trillion cells in your body. Cells. Each one of those cells has up to 100,000 chemical reactions happening every second. Now, are you causing that to happen? The answer is yes. Your brain causes all of that to happen. But how? It's unconscious. So the unconscious mind is far more powerful than the conscious mind. And that's why we want to change something, we want to do something, we want to make a shift in our life. We sometimes have resistance, we find it very difficult. Because often our unconscious mind is working against us. Who's heard of self-sabotage or having a limited belief or we're being pulled backwards? We feel like we want to go in one direction, but yet it's the best way I describe it is like a tug of war where you've got one person on one side and 9 people on the other. Who's going to win that tug of war?
9 people.
Definitely the 9. Right? There's much more strength, much more power, much more size. Unless this one person's Fat Albert, you're going to get the 9 to win. They're going to pull that one off balance. That's what happens. So when we want to change, we're up against an unconscious mind that's wanting things to stay the same. Our unconscious mind wants what's familiar. And familiarity is strong. And that's why change is so difficult. Who's ever felt that in their life? that change is difficult. Who's experienced that? I think everyone in the room. Everyone in the room. Okay, and that's why you struggle. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
That's why we're struggling. So, everything that I teach is all about getting the unconscious mind and the conscious mind working in harmony together. Just imagine what life would be like if you could do that. Imagine what things you could accomplish. Imagine what sort of body you could have. If, when you thought about exercise, or you designed an exercise program, you stuck to it. It became a must for you. What about the food you ate? Could you eat good food constantly? What about your relationship? Think about certain holes or certain aspects of your relationship that could be better. If you could give up a little bit more selfishness, if you give up a little bit more of the problems and weaknesses that you bring to a relationship, you're bringing. If you give those things up, what would that do for your relationship with that intimate person? Could change it. Or your non-intimate relationships, any relationship. What about your finances? What about when it comes to money and creating wealth? What if there wasn't resistance there? What if you could decide what to do, make a plan, have your unconscious and conscious mind working together towards it to create momentum? What about spirituality? You see, these are the 4 areas that I talk about. These are the 4 areas that we all have common in our lives. And if we're going to get change, we want not just the conscious mind, but the unconscious mind working